All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Cold War in the Middle East here, real quick. The two main areas of conflict between these proxy conflicts between the USSR and the United States will occur in Egypt, Syria, and Afghanistan. All right, so both sides are looking to secure their ports of interest, especially around oil. The Russians had a threefold plan, which was basically the number one was to secure ports of influence in the Mediterranean and that way. The first place is Egypt. Okay, so Egypt has already run into conflict. If you remember in 1949, this is, guys, I'm not trying to make this complicated, but in some ways it is. Because in 1949, Great Britain fights tooth and nail to get a state for the Jews created, a nation. And that nation would become Israel. Now, let me flip over here to the map to show you what's going on. Here's Israel, right there. Here's Egypt. This area right here is called the Suez Canal. It was built in the late 1800s. Nothing really spectacular there. It was just a way for ships to get from the Mediterranean down through the Red Sea and into the Indian Ocean. Okay, so it shaved months and months off of travel and transportation. Okay, so Israel was created in 1949. There was land taken away from people, Muslims mainly, the Palestinians, who also had a close relationship with the Egyptians. And so Great Britain and France come in, they take that land away from those people, and then they slam Israel down on top of it. From day one, Israel and Egypt fought with each other. And this goes back into the biblical times, as you know that. Okay, so Israel is an ally of Great Britain and the United States. So the two superpowers emerge here. Russia sees this as an area of conflict. United States comes in there, and going back to the PowerPoint, in 1956, the United States tells Abdel Nasser, the president of Egypt, we're going to give you a loan to finish it was called the Aswan Dam, and we're going to help you pay for that. Well, the United States balked on it and backed out. Nasser becomes so angry that he takes control of the Suez Canal and says, it's Egypt's now. It's nobody. Nobody uses the Suez Canal without my permission. Basically, he was smart. You see, he sees Russia and the United States kind of getting in a match with each other, and he's going to play them against each other. So your assignment there in the activity, I'm giving you information about what the United States goal was with this whole deal. Okay, they were trying to again contain the spread of communism, but also they did not want to lose control of the Suez Canal, and they wanted to keep Egypt as an ally. But Russia is the one who ends up giving them the loan for the Aswan Dam. What happens next? Since Egypt closes the Suez Canal to Great Britain and France, Great Britain tells France also, if going back to the map, Great Britain tells France, because at the time Algeria was a French colony, they spoke French there, and they were fighting against the French crown. Great Britain says, Egypt is starting trouble in Algeria. You need to come help us fight them and get back control of the Suez Canal. And they also bring in Israel. So now you've got 3 versus 1. Okay, you've got Israel, Great Britain, and France invading Egypt, and they start to attack. Now, what's the other 2 guys going to do? You know the other 2 players. Oh yeah, Russia and the United States, the 2 superpowers. You'll be kind of shocked at what happens next. Basically, I don't have that on here, but there's a thing in the Middle East. What happens is Russia sends military assistance, not in the form of soldiers, because this is a proxy war, okay? This is a proxy conflict. They send artillery, they send airplanes, and they send guns, and they send ammunition. The United States does something that kind of shocks everybody. They told Great Britain and France and Israel to get out of Egypt or they would face massive sanctions. And everybody was kind of shocked by that, but it was pretty smart by the United States to show Egypt that they were trying to help them. And what does Israel and Great Britain and France do? They back off and they leave. And that's why it was called a crisis, because it wasn't like a full-on major war conflict. It was almost. And this happens all through the 50s, 60s, and 70s. There's these almost global war breaks out between the United States and Russia over these little incidents that happens where Russia's meddling in the affairs of other countries and the United States comes in and meddles as well. And they're trying to, it's a proxy crisis. They're trying to get that capitalist agenda in there, put regimes in power that are favorable to them, and the USSR is doing the same. So the United States objective, or what they were trying to do there, is to have Egypt remain an ally, and so that they could get in and out of the Suez Canal. The USSR was trying to secure those ports of influence. All right, so there is the Suez crisis in Egypt. The next one that I will have will be the Khmer Rouge, or the Khmer Rogue. So just check that one out.